Hey, my name is Luke. I'm 29. Until 4 months ago, I was just the vet tech who cleaned kennels and kept his head down. Then one night I'm on the floor of a glass mansion at midnight, calming a rich woman's dying dog, and she looks at me with tears in her eyes and whispers, "If you're this kind with animals, I'm afraid I'll fall for you." She was 42, married, black, untouchable in every way that mattered. And I should have walked out that door and never looked back. If you're watching this right now, tell me where you're from in the comments. Because I still don't know if what we did was wrong. I've worked with animals my entire adult life, and the thing nobody tells you is this. You end up understanding people better than you ever wanted to. You watch how someone holds their dog, how their voice changes when they're scared, how they touch what they love when they think nobody's looking. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. My name's Luke Carter. I'm 29. I clean kennels, calm nervous pets, and keep an upscale veterinary clinic running while the actual vets do the important work. It's not glamorous. The pay barely covers my student loans. But I'm good at it. Maybe the only thing I've ever been truly good at. The clinic sits in one of those neighborhoods where the coffee costs $8 and everyone's car is worth more than my entire year's salary. Marble floors, glass walls, a donor plaque in the lobby with names I can't pronounce. I showed up that Tuesday morning the same way I always did. Early, keys jangling, unlocking the doors while the city was still half asleep. The smell hit me first. It always does. Antiseptic, chemical cleaner, the faint musk of fur and fear from the boarding kennels in back. I moved through the dark clinic flipping switches, and the fluorescent lights buzzed to life one by one. The boarded dogs knew my footsteps. They started whining before I even reached their room. Yeah, I hear you," I muttered, scooping kibble into metal bowls. A terrier mix pressed his nose through the cage bars. I scratched behind his ears. "Your mom's picking you up at noon. You'll survive." The front door chimed. Tanya stumbled in with 2 coffees, her scrubs wrinkled, her hair barely contained in a bun. "You're late," I said. "You're annoying." She shoved 1 coffee at me. "Also, heads up. Rich People Day. Dr. Ruiz has been stress texting me since 6 a.m. Rich People Day is every day here. No, I mean rich. The Hartfields are coming in. You know, the ones with their name on the donor plaque. Apparently their dog's getting older and Simone's been calling every other day." I'd heard the name, never met them. Tanya leaned against the counter, scrolling her phone. "Dr. Ruiz literally said, and I quote, 'Be on your best behavior.' Like we're gonna, throw scalpels at them? I'll try to contain myself." She snorted. "You're the safest person here. You don't even talk to clients unless you have to." That was true. I spent the morning the way I always did. Vaccines, nail trims, a Labrador who ate a sock, a cat who hated the world and made sure everyone knew it. Around 1 p.m., Tanya leaned over the desk and stage whispered, "Your VIP is here." I glanced up at the schedule. Simone Hartfield. Milo. 1:15 p.m. "You want me to take it?" "Dr. Ruiz specifically asked for you. Said you're good with older dogs." "Great, no pressure." I wiped my hands on my scrubs and walked to the waiting room. That's when I saw her. She sat near the window, sunlight catching the edge of her hair. Mid-40s, maybe. Black woman. Elegant in that way that didn't need to try. Simple clothes, but the kind that cost more than my rent. Her posture was perfect, except for the way her hand rested on the head of the golden retriever beside her. That touch was soft. Tender. Real. "Simone and Milo?" She looked up. Her eyes were tired. Not physically. Something deeper. "That's us." Her voice was warm, controlled, like she'd spent years learning exactly how much to give away. Milo's tail wagged once, slow, polite. "Come on back." I led them down the bright hallway. Her heels clicked on the tile. Milo's collar tag jingled. The exam room smelled like disinfectant and lavender air freshener. I knelt down to Milo's level first. Always do that. Let them sniff your hand. Let them decide. Milo leaned into my palm, sighing like an old man lowering himself into a chair. "He likes you," Simone said quietly. "He's a good boy." I scratched under Milo's chin, his eyes half closed. "What's been going on with him?" "He's slowing down. I know that's normal, but he's breathing heavier at night, pacing more. Her phone buzzed, loud. She glanced at the screen and her whole face shifted. "I'm sorry, I have to," she answered. Put it on speaker without asking if I minded. A man's voice filled the room. Deep, impatient. "Simone, are you still at the vet?" "Yes, I'm with the tech now." "How long is this going to take? I need you to call the caterer back. They're asking about final numbers." "I'll call them when I'm done. We've got the Richardsons coming Thursday. This can't fall apart." Simone's jaw tightened. "It won't." "Okay, I've got to run. Another call coming in." He hung up. The silence after felt heavier than the noise. Simone looked at me, and for half a second, I saw something raw there. Then she smoothed it away. "Sorry, that was my husband. He's busy," I finished. "Yeah." I focused on Milo, checked his heart rate, his breathing, his gums. "Does he have trouble settling at night?" I asked. "Yes, especially when I'm home alone, which is often." Her voice was so careful, like she was confessing something she shouldn't. "Dogs pick up on our anxiety," I said. "If you're worried, he feels it. It's a feedback loop." She let out a soft laugh. "So it's my fault?" "I didn't say that." "You implied it." I looked up. She was almost smiling. "I'm just saying, he loves you. He wants to take care of you. That's what good dogs do." Simone's eyes softened. She reached down and ran her hand over Milo's head. "He's the only one who—" She stopped herself, shook her head. "Never mind." But I heard it. The thing she didn't say. He's the only one who still sees me. I finished the exam. Told her Milo's heart had a slight murmur. Nothing critical, but something to watch. Recommended a follow-up in 2 weeks and some medication to help him relax. She listened to every word. Didn't check her phone once. When I opened the door to walk her out, I almost ran into Dr. Ruiz in the hallway. "Oh, good. You're still here," Dr. Ruiz said brightly. "Simone, do you have a second?" Simone nodded. Dr. Ruiz gestured toward her office. "Luke, why don't you finish up the notes? I just need to go over a couple things with Mrs. Hartfield." I went back to the exam room and started typing. Through the half-open door, I heard their voices. Dr. Ruiz's. "We're so grateful for everything you and Greg have done for this clinic." Simone's. "Of course, we're happy to help." "I just wanted you to know, the building lease comes up for renewal soon, and we're exploring options. If you and Greg ever wanted to consider buying the property outright, we'd love to discuss it." A pause. "I'll mention it to him," Simone said. I stopped typing. They owned the building? I sat there staring at Milo's chart, my stomach sinking. This wasn't just a wealthy client. This was someone whose money kept the lights on, whose goodwill kept all of us employed. When I stepped out of the exam room, Simone was standing at the checkout desk. Her face was more guarded now, polished. "Thank you for taking such good care of Milo," she said. Her voice was different, formal, like I was staff and she'd just remembered it. "Of course." She left without looking back. Tanya elbowed me as the door closed. "See? Told you. Rich people love you. I didn't answer. That night, I went home to my cramped apartment and microwaved leftovers, scrolled through Milo's chart on my tablet, noted the anxiety triggers, the pacing, the separation issues. My phone rang at 10 p.m. Clinic emergency line. Forwarded to my cell. I answered. This is Luke. Hi, I'm so sorry to bother you. This is Simone Hartfield. He's breathing really hard and pacing, and I don't know if I should bring him in or... Her voice was shaking. Okay, deep breath. Tell me what you're seeing. She described it. I walked her through checking his gums, his pulse, his breathing rate. It sounds like anxiety, I said. Probably triggered by the storm. Did you give him the medication? Not yet. I wasn't sure. Give him half a dose now. Sit with him. Put your hand on his chest so he can feel your heartbeat. That'll calm him down. I heard her moving. A pill bottle rattling. Milo's tags jingling. Okay. She whispered. I'm sitting with him. We stayed on the phone. I didn't hang up. I talked her through it. Kept my voice low and steady. Told her about the old dog I had as a kid, how he used to get scared during thunderstorms and I'd sleep on the floor next to him. You did that? She asked. Yeah. My parents thought I was crazy, but he needed me, you know? Yeah, she said softly. I know. Milo's breathing evened out. I could hear it through the phone. He's better, Simone said. Thank you. No problem. I mean it. You didn't have to stay on the line this long. I wanted to. Silence. The kind that meant something. I should let you go, she said. Get some sleep. You too. The call ended. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, listening to the silence of my empty apartment, wondering why I could still hear her breathing in my head. The next morning, Tanya was waiting for me with a smirk. Heard you had a late-night call with Mrs. Fancy. It was a medical thing. Uh-huh. You always stay on the phone for 40 minutes for a medical thing? How do you even know that? Call log, genius. She leaned closer. I'm just saying, she likes you. She likes that I'm good with her dog. Sure, that's definitely all it is. I ignored her and went to check on the boarded animals. Around noon, Mrs. Pearl Jennings shuffled in with Mr. Whiskers, her cranky orange cat. Good afternoon, Luke, she sang. How's my favorite vet tech? I'm good, Mrs. Jennings. What's going on with Whiskers? Hairball. Again. That cat eats more of himself than his actual food. I smiled and got Whiskers checked in. While I prepped the exam room, Mrs. Jennings leaned against the counter, chatting with Tanya. You know, I live just down the hill from those Hartfield people, she said. Big fancy glass house. I see that poor woman walking her dog at all hours, always alone. My ears perked up. Her husband's never around, Mrs. Jennings continued. Always traveling. I don't know how people live like that. All that money and nobody to share it with. Tanya hummed sympathetically. I focused on Whiskers. Tried not to think about Simone walking Milo alone in the dark. 2 days later, she called the clinic again. Tanya transferred her to me. Hi, Simone said. I'm sorry to keep bothering you. You're not bothering me. Milo's been doing better, but I wanted to ask about the side effects of the medication. He seems a little off. I explained what to watch for, suggested bringing him in for a quick follow-up just to be safe. Could I book with you specifically? She asked. Of course. We scheduled it for the end of the week. When she came in, she looked different, softer. Her makeup was lighter. She was wearing jeans and a sweater instead of the polished outfit from before. In the exam room, Milo settled between us. I checked his vitals. Everything looked good. He's doing great, I said. Good. That's good. She wasn't looking at Milo. She was looking at me. "Can I ask you something?" she said. "Sure. Do you ever feel like you're doing what you're supposed to do, but it's not what you thought it would be?" I sat back on my heels. "Every day." She laughed. Quiet. Real. "I used to work in marketing," she said. "I loved it. I was good at it. But then Greg's career took off and it just made sense for me to step back, support him, do the charity work, be the wife in the photos." "Do you miss it?" "I miss mattering." The words hung there. Milo shifted. Our hands both reached for him at the same time. Our fingers brushed. Neither of us pulled away. The door opened. Tanya poked her head in. "Luke, Dr. Ruiz needs you in the back for a second." The moment shattered. Simone pulled her hand back, straightened, became polished again. "Thank you," she said. Formal, distant. I stood. "Of course." When I came back, she was already at checkout. As she left, she placed an envelope on the counter. "For the staff," she said. Tanya opened it later. Inside was a donation check and a handwritten note on expensive cardstock. "Thank you for being patient. With both of us. S." I folded it and put it in my pocket. The following Saturday, the clinic sponsored a small pet fair in the park. Dr. Ruiz wanted us there to meet the community, hand out brochures, recruit new clients. Tanya and I hauled crates and banners in the early morning heat. "This is ridiculous," Tanya muttered. "It's like 100 degrees. "It's 70. Same thing. Around 10 a.m. I saw them. Simone and Greg walking through the park, Milo trotting between them. Greg was tall, well-dressed, the kind of man who looked like he belonged in boardrooms and charity galas. He had his phone in one hand and Simone's elbow in the other. They stopped at our booth. "Dr. Ruiz," Greg's voice boomed. "Great turnout." Dr. Ruiz lit up. "Greg, Simone, thank you so much for coming." "Wouldn't miss it." Greg scanned the booth. "This is good visibility. Smart move." Simone crouched down to let Milo sniff the other dogs. She was smiling, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Luke," Dr. Ruiz waved me over. "Come meet the Hartfields." I wiped my hands on my jeans and approached. "Greg, this is Luke Carter. He's been taking excellent care of Milo." Greg stuck out his hand. Firm handshake, assessing eyes. "Good to meet you. Simone talks about you." "Does she?" I kept my voice neutral. "Says you're great with Milo. That's important. We want the best for him." "He's a good dog." Simone stood. Our eyes met for half a second. Then Greg's phone rang. "Excuse me," he said, stepping away. Simone knelt by the booth, watching as I helped a kid hold a nervous puppy. "You're good with them," she said quietly. "Kids or dogs?" "Both." When I looked up, she was watching me the way she watched Milo, like I was something that needed protecting. They left an hour later. Greg's hand on her, back. Simone glancing over her shoulder once, just once. That night I got home late, showered, collapsed into bed. At 11 p.m. my phone buzzed. Emergency line. I answered without thinking. "This is Luke." "It's Simone, I'm so sorry. Milo's breathing is bad again and he won't settle and I know it's late, but I'm coming." "What?" "I'm coming to you. This needs to be checked in person." I called Dr. Ruiz. She sighed but approved it. "Just be careful and professional." I drove to the address Simone texted me. The gated community was quiet, sterile. Security waved me through when I gave Simone's name. Her house was all glass and sharp angles, cold and modern. A single light glowed in the front window. She opened the door before I knocked. No makeup. Barefoot, silk pajama pants, and a soft t-shirt. "Thank you," she whispered. "Greg's out of town and I didn't know who else to call." "It's okay." Inside, the house was immaculate. Expensive furniture, marble counters, Everything perfect, except for Milo's worn dog bed in the corner, the only thing that looked lived in. I knelt beside Milo on the floor, checked his heart, his lungs, his temperature. "He's okay," I said. "Just overexcited from the day. His heart's a little fast, but not dangerous." Simone sank onto the floor beside me. Her shoulder touched mine. "I'm sorry I panicked." "Don't be." We sat there, Milo between us. The house so quiet I could hear her breathing. "Can I tell you something?" she said. "Yeah. This is the first time this house has felt warm in months." I didn't know what to say to that. "I'm afraid I'm getting too dependent on this," she continued. "On you, on having someone to call who actually answers." "Simone, I know what this looks like. Rich, lonely wife, younger guy who's nice to her dog. It's pathetic." "It's not." She looked at me, really looked at me. "If you're this kind with animals," her voice cracked, "I'm afraid I'll fall for you." The words landed like a confession. My heart hammered. I should have stood up, should have left, should have said something professional and safe. Instead, I just sat there, silent. She covered her face. "God, I shouldn't have said that. Simone, you should go." I stood slowly. She walked me to the door, arms wrapped around herself. At the threshold, I turned back. "For what it's worth," I said quietly. "This is the warmest I've felt in months, too." I left, drove home through empty streets, lay in bed replaying her voice. "I'm afraid I'll fall for you." And the worst part? I was afraid I'd already fallen too. The next morning I woke up late. Her words were still echoing in my head. "I'm afraid I'll fall for you." I showered, got dressed, drove to work on autopilot. Tanya took one look at me and grinned. "Rough night?" "Just tired." "You look like you saw a ghost." Close enough. I buried myself in work, vaccines, nail trims, a Pomeranian with an attitude problem. Anything to keep my hands busy and my mind quiet. Around noon, a notification popped up on the clinic system. New message from Simone Hartfield. My stomach dropped. I opened it. "Thank you again for coming last night. Milo is doing much better this morning. Please let me know what I owe for the after-hours visit." Simone formal, professional, like she'd erased everything that happened. I typed back. Deleted it, typed again. No charge. Glad Milo's feeling better. "Luke," I hit send before I could overthink it. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. "Thank you. I appreciate your care and discretion." Discretion. That word sat heavy in my chest. She was drawing a line, protecting us both. I should have been relieved. Instead, I felt like I'd lost something I never actually had. 2 days passed. Then 3. I checked Milo's chart more than I needed to, looked for her name on the schedule, found excuses to walk past the front desk in case she called. Tanya noticed. Of course she did. "You okay?" she asked on Thursday afternoon. "Fine. You sure? You've been weird all week." "I'm just tired." She studied me for a second, then shrugged. "Okay, but if you need to talk." "I know, thanks." Friday afternoon, Simone came in for Milo's scheduled follow-up. She was back to the polished version of herself. Perfect hair, elegant clothes, the mask firmly in place. In the exam room, I kept everything clinical, asked the right questions, took notes, avoided eye contact. Milo kept looking between us like he knew something was wrong. "He's doing great," I said. "Heart rate's good, breathing's normal. Whatever you're doing is working." "That's good." Silence. She shifted. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Would it be inappropriate if I hired you privately? For Milo?" He's still anxious at night when I'm alone, and I thought maybe if someone could come by once a week to work with him on routines. She trailed off. I should have said no. Should have referred her to someone else. Should have protected us both from what this would become. I'd need to clear it with Dr. Ruiz, I said. Of course, I'd pay fairly, through official channels, everything above board. Let me think about it. She nodded, stood to leave. At the door, she paused. Luke? Yeah? I'm not trying to make things complicated. I trust you with him, that's all. But her eyes said something different. That night, I sat at my kitchen table with my calculator app open. Student loans, rent, car payment, groceries. The numbers didn't lie. I needed the money. But that wasn't why I texted her. If you still want help with Milo at home, I can do once a week. We'll keep it professional. Her response came fast. Thank you. Wednesday evenings work best. Is 6 p.m. okay? That works. See you then. I put my phone down and stared at the ceiling. Told myself this was about the dog. Knew I was lying. The first, Wednesday. I pulled up to her house at 5:58 p.m. The gate was open. The porch light was on. I grabbed my bag and knocked. Simone answered immediately. No makeup. Jeans and a soft sweater, hair pulled back. She looked real. Come in, she said. Jazz was playing softly from speakers I couldn't see. The house smelled like vanilla and something warm I couldn't name. Milo trotted over, tail wagging. Hey, buddy, I scratched his ears. Ready to work? We spent an hour in the living room. I showed Simone how to use positive reinforcement for calm behaviors, how to create a bedtime routine that would help Milo settle. She watched everything I did, asked questions, took mental notes. You're good at this, she said. It's just consistency. Dogs like predictability. People too, I think. We took Milo for a walk around the neighborhood. The streets were quiet. Expensive houses behind tall gates. Nobody around. What did you want to be when you were a kid? She asked suddenly. A vet, obviously. Why didn't you? Couldn't afford vet school. Took out loans for the tech program, and even that buried me. She was quiet for a moment. I wanted to be a creative director, run my own agency, make things that mattered. What happened? I met Greg. He was ambitious, charming, successful. And when his career took off, it just made sense for one of us to step back. I told myself it was temporary. Was it? She laughed softly. That was 10 years ago. We walked in silence. Milo sniffed every mailbox and tree. Do you regret it? I asked. Some days. Other days I think maybe I just wasn't brave enough to fight for it. That's not the same as not wanting it. She looked at me. No, it's not. Back at the house, we sat on the floor with Milo between us. Her knee touched mine. Neither of us moved away. This was nice, she said quietly. Thank you. Yeah, it was. I stood to leave. She walked me to the door, and when she handed me an envelope with my payment, our fingers brushed. Same time next week? She asked. Yeah. I drove home feeling like I'd just stepped out of someone else's life and back into my own. The weeks blurred together. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m. I showed up. We worked with Milo, walked the neighborhood, talked about things that had nothing to do with dogs. She told me about her mother, who never approved of Greg. About the charities she managed that felt more like performances than purpose. I told her about growing up broke, about my dad who left when I was 12, about the old dog who got me through it. Tanya started teasing me about my Wednesday night plans. I'd just shrug and change the subject. Mrs. Jennings came into the clinic one afternoon and mentioned, casual as anything, that she kept seeing my car near the Hartfields' place. You must be taking real good care of that dog, she said, eyes twinkling. Just doing my job. Mm-hmm. I started to feel the weight of it, the secret, the double life. At the clinic, Simone was polite and distant. At her house, she was soft and real. I didn't know which version was the lie anymore. One Wednesday in late October, I arrived to find the house dark except for a few lamps. Simone answered the door looking exhausted. "Sorry," she said. "Long day. Greg's traveling again, and I've been dealing with a foundation crisis all afternoon. We can reschedule?" "No, please, I need this. She stopped herself. "Milo needs this." We worked with Milo, but her heart wasn't in it. "You okay?" I asked finally. She sank onto the couch. "Not really." I sat beside her. Not too close, but close enough. "You want to talk about it?" "I'm just tired of pretending everything's fine. The perfect marriage, the perfect life. I'm tired of being a placeholder in my own existence." "You're not a placeholder." "Then what am I?" I didn't have an answer. Rain started pattering against the windows. Soft at first, then harder. Milo climbed onto the couch between us, resting his head on Simone's lap. We sat there, the three of us. The house quiet except for the rain. "Can I tell you something?" she whispered. "Always. These Wednesdays are the only time I feel like myself anymore." My chest tightened. "Simone. I know what this is, what it can't be, but I needed you to know that." Thunder rumbled. The lights flickered. She leaned her head against the back of the couch, eyes closed. I watched the rise and fall of her breathing. Without thinking, I reached over and pressed a soft kiss to her forehead. She went still. I pulled back, heart hammering. "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have." "No." Her voice was barely audible. "Don't apologize." We sat frozen. Milo snoring between us. The rain drumming overhead. Her phone buzzed. We both flinched. She checked it. "Flight update. Greg's coming home tonight instead of tomorrow." The moment shattered. I stood. I should go. "Luke, it's okay. We're okay." But we both knew something had shifted. I grabbed my bag and headed for the door. She followed me. "I'll see you next week?" she asked. "Yeah, next week." I stepped into the rain, didn't realize until I was halfway down the driveway that headlights were turning onto the street. Greg's car. "Luke!" Simone hissed from the doorway. She grabbed my arm and pulled me toward a side gate I'd never noticed. "Go, quickly." I slipped through as Greg's car pulled into the driveway. The gate clicked shut behind me. I stood in the narrow side yard, rain soaking through my shirt, listening to muffled voices from inside. Greg's deep rumble. Simone's practiced brightness. I walked away through the dark, hands shaking. The next morning, Tanya mentioned casually that Greg had called the clinic. "Just asking about Milo's meds and stuff," she said. "But he had a lot of questions about the home visits, how often you go, how long you stay." My blood went cold. "What did you tell him?" "The truth. Once a week for behavioral work." "Why?" "No reason." That afternoon, Simone called the front desk. I watched Tanya's face as she took the call. When she hung up, she looked confused. "Simone Hartfield just canceled all of Milo's appointments. Said they're switching to a vet closer to home." "What?" "Yeah, weird, right? She seemed really happy with us." I stood there, frozen. "Luke, you okay?" "Fine, I'm fine." I checked my phone. 3 missed calls from a blocked number. No voicemail. I tried texting Simone's number. Message failed to deliver. She'd blocked me. The next 2 weeks were the longest of my life. I checked the schedule every morning. Nothing. I drove past her neighborhood twice. Hated myself both times. I found myself staring at Milo's old chart, reading my own notes like they were love letters. "You're being weird," Tanya said one afternoon. "I'm fine." "You're not fine? You've been miserable since the Hartfields left. What happened?" "Nothing happened." "Luke, just drop it, okay?" She held up her hands. "Okay, but if you need to talk..." "I know." Mrs. Jennings came in the next week with Mr. Whiskers. "Haven't seen that Hartfield woman in a while," she mentioned. "Used to see her walking Milo every evening. Now she barely leaves the house, and when she does, she looks so thin." I pretended not to care. Failed miserably. That night, I found Simone's scarf in the clinic's lost and found box, silk, soft, still carrying the faint scent of her perfume and Milo's fur. I took it home, hated myself for it, but I kept it anyway. 3 weeks after she ghosted me, I was lying in bed at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I opened it. A photo. Blurry. Milo on an exam table in a dark room. The text underneath. Room 3. Porch lights on. I was in my car in under 2 minutes. The clinic was dark, except for the small security light by the entrance. I unlocked the door, heart pounding. The hallway was silent. The hum of refrigerators the only sound. Room 3's door was cracked open. I pushed it wider. Simone sat on the floor, back against the cabinets. Milo lay on a pillow beside her. "Hi," she whispered. "How did you..." "Dr. Ruiz gave me an emergency keycard months ago, in case Milo ever needed after-hours care." I knelt beside them, checked Milo's vitals. He was fine. Tired, but fine. "What's going on?" I asked. I panicked. He wasn't settling, and I tried calling the new vet, but they didn't answer, and I just... Her voice broke. "I needed you." "Simone?" I tried to stay away. I really did. Greg was suspicious, and I thought if I just cut you off completely, I could fix everything. Be the wife I'm supposed to be. Did it work? No. She laughed wetly. It made everything worse. The house felt emptier. Milo's anxiety got worse. And I kept thinking about Wednesdays. I sat beside her on the cold floor. "I'm sorry," she said. "I'm sorry I disappeared. I'm sorry I dragged you into this mess." "I'm not." She looked at me. "You should be." "Yeah, probably." Silence. "I can't leave him," she said quietly. "Greg, I can't blow up my life. I can't be that woman." "I know. But I can't stay away from you either. So, what do we do?" She was quiet for a long time. "I don't know." Milo shifted, pressing closer to her. She ran her hand over his head. "I think," I said carefully, "we find a way to do this that doesn't destroy everything." "How?" "You bring Milo back to the clinic. We keep it professional in front of everyone. I take care of him. And whatever this is between us, we let it live in those small moments, the ones nobody else sees. That's not fair to you. Maybe not. But it's what I can handle." She turned to look at me. Her eyes were red-rimmed and exhausted. "You really mean that?" "Yeah, I do." She reached for my hand. Our fingers intertwined in the dark. We sat there until the sky started to lighten. The next week, Milo's name reappeared on the schedule. Tanya did a double take. "They're back?" "Guess so." Simone came in during my shift, polite, professional, but when our eyes met, there was an understanding there. In the exam room, we talked about Milo's medication adjustments, nothing more. But when I checked his heart rate, her hand rested near mine on his chest. Just for a second. Just enough. Over the next few months, we built a careful routine. She scheduled appointments only when I was working. Brought Milo in every 2 weeks. We talked about his care, his diet, his medication, and underneath every word was everything we couldn't say. Tanya noticed something was different. but couldn't put her finger on it. "You two are weird together," she said once. "What do you mean?" "I don't know. It's like you're having a whole conversation nobody else can hear." She wasn't wrong. One afternoon, Greg came with Simone. He was pleasant, professional. Shook my hand and thanked me for taking such good care of Milo. "Simone trusts you," he said. "That means something." I kept my voice steady. "He's a good dog." When they left, Greg's hand was on Simone's back. She didn't look behind her. I told myself that was good. Didn't believe it. 3 months later, on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon, Simone brought Milo in for a routine check. The clinic smelled like antiseptic and coffee. Her heels clicked on the tile. Milo's tags jingled. In the exam room, I knelt beside Milo, running my hands over his aging body. "He's doing really well," I said. "Whatever you're doing is working." I think having a consistent routine helps, knowing there are Tuesdays. Our eyes met. "Yeah," I said. "Tuesdays help." I checked his heart. Simone stood close, watching my hands. "There's this thing I've been meaning to tell you," she said quietly. "What's that?" "I enrolled in an online marketing course, just trying to remember what I liked about it." I looked up. "That's great. It's small, but it's something." "It's not small." She smiled. A real one. Milo wagged his tail, content between us. "Same time in 2 weeks?" she asked as she checked out. "Same time." She left with Milo at her side. At the door, she glanced back once. Not long, not obvious. Just enough. That night, I closed the clinic alone, turned off the lights one by one, locked the doors, stood in the empty parking lot under the streetlights. Some people ask me if I regret it, if I wish things had been different. The truth is, I don't know. What I had with Simone wasn't a grand love affair, wasn't a happy ending. It was something quieter, something that lived in exam rooms and careful glances and the space between what we said and what we meant. She's still married, still living in that big glass house. I'm still at the clinic, still cleaning kennels and calming anxious dogs. But every other Tuesday, she walks through that door with Milo. And for 30 minutes in room 3, with antiseptic in the air and jazz playing faintly from her phone, we get to exist in the life we'll never fully have. Some people you only ever get to love through the way you treat what they care about. And for now, Milo is enough. He has to be. Some doors never fully close. Watch another confession.